ta-ta-ta-ta. Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here, driving up to Los Angeles, and you will notice, or maybe you have noticed, over the last few days or week or so, I have been peppering in a little bit of the macabre, a little bit of some of the darker subjects around the greater Los Angeles area, and that will continue because there are so... I'm joking! It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. What just happened? It's the Daily Woo. If you look closely through those palm trees, you can see in the foggy, misty smog, downtown Los Angeles, just over that wall. We're gonna cover a lot of ground today in today's vlog. The first few stops I'm going to be stopping. It's an emergency vehicle going by. I'm not really in the best neighborhood in the world at the current moment. Like I was saying, I'm going to be hitting a lot of spots today up in Los Angeles, and the first few are going to have to do with the Black Dahlia murders. If you're not familiar with that, just Google it. I'm not going to be showing a lot of images from it because the whole thing is super disturbing. Disclaimer alert, you do not want to look this stuff up if the gruesome, the macabre, the frightening crime scene stuff bothers you. Just watch my vlog. I try to keep everything above the belt. I try to keep everything in a light-hearted mood. And I'm very interested in history, not only positive history, but also some of the darker side of history. So that's why I go to these places in these vlogs. But I will make a promise to you that I will never show something that should not be shown. I will talk about the subject matter, but I will leave it at that. And that being said, let's drive down to the road where the body of Elizabeth Short was found, the Black Dahlia. In 1947, this residential area was not developed yet. The only thing that existed back then was this road I am on, the sidewalk over there, and one lonely fire hydrant. And that is how we are going to figure out the exact location of where the body was found. The coroner report said that 54 feet north of that fire hydrant is where the body was laid to the left of the sidewalk. That's the sidewalk, right over there. These houses weren't here, but the driveways were here. You can see those in those old photos. Let's do this. There's the fire hydrant. And if you look at those old photos, you can match up this exact spot. So basically, in those photos, you could see this driveway, and you can see that driveway. There were no homes here at that time, but you could see the police gathering around the body right there at the corner of that sidewalk and driveway. And you could use this fire hydrant, count 54 feet off to the left, and right there was where the body was found. That's the spot right there. I wonder if the people who live in this neighborhood know of the story of the Black Dahlia. 54 feet. Right here was where her body was found. And there's another photo, I'm not going to show the photo because it's kind of disturbing, where there was a camera up here in this area facing across. And if you look up that photo, if you want to look it up online, you can see this driveway, and you can see that pole and that driveway in that famous shot, and her body would be laying right here. I'm guessing that is probably in honor of the Black Dahlia. That whole thing just blows my mind. The fact that it was never solved, they never figure out who did it, and the fact that it happened right over there, that's where the body was found. Look at that cool old building at the bottom. It's a movie theater. I doubt when you visit that mattress company that woman's gonna be there waiting for you. Just saying. You've heard of Airbnb? Now say hello to Urban B&B. If you're in the mood for Korean barbecue, why not visit the castle? If I'm gonna eat Korean barbecue, I wanna eat it in a castle. Check it out. You can see it barely off in the distance. Look closely. This place has the 99-cent store beat by a long shot. We're now going over the Shakespeare Bridge. This is John Marshall High School, a very beautiful school that has been used in countless 80s films. But I'm not here to talk about the filming locations that were used for the exteriors and interiors of the school. This has to do specifically with the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth Short, her last photos ever taken before her death were in front of this school. And one of them was taken right there on those steps. One thing that's always fascinating to me is the fact that structures normally stay the same even though decades have passed. Take a look at this emblem on the bottom stair right here next to this ledge. She was seen here in 1946 sitting in that exact spot with her feet propped up on that third step. That is the location of one of the last times she was photographed before she passed away. There's also a handful of other photographs online of her hanging out in front of a classic car right in here, and you can see the backdrop of this beautiful school, which really makes me wonder, why do you think they built this extension which really does not fit in with the rest of the school? At first maybe I thought they were doing some construction, but honestly this looks like a permanent piece of the school. Look at this. This is kind of bizarre. Made out of some sort of plastic. And it's blocking the beauty of the school right above it. There's not really any parking around here, so I'm just going to drive by this house real quick. This is what is known as the Jaws house. This is where the main suspect, who was not incriminated and not found guilty, lived, and supposedly all the rumors, the urban legends, the myths, all say that she was killed inside this house. I'm going to drive by it right now. That's it right there. If you look closely, it looks like the mouths of Jaws. Got one more spot to check out before our Black Dahlia comes to an end. Park ranger staring at me. He probably thought I was filming him. Check out Batman right there on the side of that box painted on there. That's cool. I don't think I'm gonna find parking around this area either, but right up here is the apartment building she lived in. The last apartment room she had was room 501 in this apartment building. There it is right there. That's it. Room 501, 5th floor, inside the Chateau Hollywood. Pretty crazy. Since I'm in the area, I decided to walk past this sewer. Oh no, not that. I'm talking about the sewer up there, known as Hollywood Boulevard. Look at this ATM machine. Would you use this ATM machine? I don't know if I would. Clearly someone has discarded of their bicycle. They don't need the bike anymore, so they just threw it in the trash. And then I'm wondering, did this person hit the bicyclist, threw the bike away, and then maybe buried the body somewhere? Ugh. I hope not.
Eric, you want some fruit?
Seems like emojis are everywhere now. I don't think anywhere in the movie Scarface did he say no snitches. This is crazy. This is another one of those four-way crosses that makes the X in the middle. So you can go all the way around. Walk in the middle of the road. I'm heading over this way. This is where usually the lunacy is happening. Look at this. An imitation Mickey and Minnie straight ahead there.
It's okay. It's okay. He did all the work, ladies. Mom, he's still got a job. He's doing fine in Hollywood, Mom.
Look at that guy on the bicycle with all the umbrellas. Wonder what he's up to.
Jesus Christ or Satan?
Chinese theater. Ishan.
Where will you go? Heaven or hell?
That's right. Come on, I'm right here. Come on here. There's a turtle back there counting his money. A bunch of hustlers out here. Check out this guy's outfit. That guy's styling. Ah, Hollywood Boulevard, you never get old with your ambiance of urine smell, your trash on the streets, the incessant amount of people dressed up in crazy costumes. They do not have the rights to be dressed up as. I do love the mural here on the side of Hollywood High, however. And maybe I am impartial or biased in my decision because one of my idols is featured prominently on the side, John Ritter.
Oh, you had it.
I'm cutting through this little corridor. Straight ahead is Sunset Boulevard. I want to show you something up here. As I've stated many times before, I'm a huge fan of the old MGM Studios, now Hollywood Studios in Florida, Walt Disney World. And as you walk into Hollywood Studios, there's a big monument that basically says Crossroads of the World. That was based on something here on Sunset, and it's right over there. Did you know that this existed in real life, not just at Hollywood Studios? I feel like walking over there and getting a guide map to the park. Also, the one here in real Hollywood does not have the Mickey Mouse on top that acts as a lightning rod in Florida. I didn't know she had tattoos. This guy's just sitting on the bench with a huge radio boombox. I love LA. That's an interesting name for a road. Malt Man. I wonder if there's a guy that lives up the hill named Malt Man. Up there. Now that's a real superhero. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Malt Man. The band I used to be in for a few years, the punk band called Guttermouth, is in town tonight here in Hollywood. Well, the Hollywood area. So I figured I'd stop by, say hi to the guys. Seems like carrying the old school radio boom boxes is kind of in fashion around here. The venue is straight ahead right here on Sunset, but there's something I want to show you down here that I went to a few years ago, and just looking on Google Maps, I didn't realize that the location is right here next to the venue. If you look up the TheDailyWoo 606, day 606, you will see this location, the Laurel and Hardy music box steps. All I can think of is Blazing Saddles. We wish you a Laurel and Hardy welcome. Wow, I had forgotten it won the Academy Award in 1932 for short subject comedy. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat to revisit places, especially when you realize the places you didn't even know they were right around the corner from where you were. And it's to the point where I've done so many vlogs and so many travels, I start to forget places, and then when I see them, I'm like, whoa, I was here before. So go watch the TheDailyWoo 606. A lot more information over on there. One thing you gotta love about Los Angeles are the street carts with lots of delicious meats. Just set up on the side of the road. And a guy over here playing a flute. Just playing a flute randomly. No real rhyme or reason for it, but he's playing a flute. Oh, I'm tired. Vlog over.